On your financial checklist at the beginning of every year is to update your contribution amounts because your finances change, circumstances change, but also the IRS limits change. What do you need to update your contributions to as we start 2026? I've got that and more coming up. Even though it doesn't sound fun at the beginning of every year, you should be updating your budget. And even if you say, that's the last thing I want to do, I don't want to tune in, especially after the holidays, I don't want to tune in and see how bad it was. Now, oftentimes, your pay might have changed to start the new year. Maybe if you're on salary and you maybe got a different rate, I don't know, maybe yours, it changes at a different time, but maybe that's one reason. Some expenses, health insurance or other sort of fixed expenses, they update once a year. So it's a logical time to tune in to your budget and to your cash flow. We call that your present financial position. Hopefully you're working a 3 bank account system, and hopefully those words, those phrases mean something to you. We talk about them a lot, but also at the beginning of the year, your cash flow is influenced by what you're saving, how much you are contributing to your tax shelter retirement accounts. And every single year, the IRS updates these. They update your limits. Whether you are reaching those limits or not, whether you are reaching a new age, a new milestone threshold, even if you wouldn't call it that, sometimes the IRS, your age can influence how much you can be contributing. Maybe you've reached a different point of vesting with your firm. Maybe you just reached eligibility with your 401k. Maybe you switched companies. Maybe your company switched retirement plans. There's just a lot of reasons why right now it's a good time to just tune in to say, wait, let me confirm, am I contributing the right amount to my retirement accounts? So let's go through the punch list. Hopefully this is a review, but your 401k, if you have a 401k or a 403b or a 457 through your employer for 2026, that contribution limit has increased pretty significantly, in my opinion. If you're going to max it out, it's up to 100% of what you earn. And we have some people doing that, live off of something else, live off of their spouse's income, because for them, let's contribute 100% or as much as you can. But with a cap of $24,500. It was $23,500 in 2025. It's now $24,500. That's the limit. So 100% of what you earn up to $24,500. So if you earn only 15 grand and you can contribute all 15, go ahead. You got to withhold for FICA, of course, but if you make 100 grand or whatever, then that limit 24,500. That's 401k, 403b, and 457. If you are age 50 or older, you are eligible for catch-up. So if in this year, if 2026, you say, yeah, I actually am turning 50 this year, even if it's not until later this year, you can start your catch-up contribution right now, and you're going to want to factor it in. It is not a rounding error. That increased as well. The catch-up contribution starting at age 50 for your 401k, 403b, that's 8 grand. It was 7,500. That is 8 grand. And remember that in 2026, this is the first year that if you made $150,000 or more last year, that's wages, and you're doing catch-up contributions in 2026, that catch-up contribution needs to be Roth, okay? You've got to make sure that you elect that it's going to be Roth. Super catch-up contribution. You are maybe hopefully aware of that just started in 2025. That is the years you turn age 60, 61, 62, 63, only for those 4 years. Why those 4? I have no idea. Does not make any sense to me. But those years, that limit has not changed. Instead of the $8,000 catch-up contribution, you can do $11,250. So those are your contribution limits for 401k, 403b, 457. If you've got a goal of reaching those maximums, make sure that you do the percentage based on your salary and you reach that maximum. If you're not going to hit those maximums, then you're just fine. But take the challenge, our annual challenge of increasing your contribution rate by 1% each year. What about Roth IRAs and IRAs, actually traditional IRAs as well? Those contributions, that limit went up a little bit as well, from $7,000 to $7,500. $7,500 in 2026 is the contribution limit. And one of the places where this gets a lot of people tripped up is when they break down their Roth IRA or their traditional IRA into just a monthly automatic contribution, which I love. I would challenge you, if you've got the cash flow, to make that contribution to your Roth IRA right at the beginning of the year. I would recommend, I did a video on that recently, sort of how you can play the long game with that. I'd contribute as soon as you possibly can. But if you do it monthly, then sometimes when these contribution limits increase a little bit, like they are this year, sometimes you lose track. Well, for this one, it's a nice even number, $600, $250 per month will help you max out that Roth IRA or that traditional IRA if you're contributing to it in 2026. Last one is HSA. That contribution limit, hopefully you're contributing to your HSA. If you have one, you're contributing right out of your paycheck. You get an extra tax benefit because it avoids FICA tax. But that contribution limit increased to $4,400 for single individuals. Not an enormous increase, just $100 increase. And then for family coverage or anything other than single coverage, $8,750. Remember that if you're age 55 or older with the HSA, it's an extra $1,000 catch-up contribution. But if you and your spouse are both age 55, you can each do an extra $1,000. Your spouse just needs to make it to their own HSA. Basically, you can't make the contribution to the same HSA if you're doing the catch-up contribution. Though that's a crash course, those are your contribution limits. And whether you say, I am maxing out, that's really helpful, or you say, I'm maxing out, I already knew all that, or if you say, I'm not maxing out, that wasn't super helpful. No. Here's the question. How much should you be contributing? How much should you be contributing for your financial goals, for your financial life? How much should you be contributing? And before you just tune me out and say, well, he's going to say I need to max out and just, do as much as I possibly can. No. For many people, financial success is balance. It's balance. And so, yeah, I do want you to do more push-ups, right? If I'm your coach, if I'm your trainer, you can run harder, you can run a little farther, you can do a little bit more. And yet at the same time, your life is not all about push-ups. Your life is all about money, right? It is about balance. And so, money is a little bit like oxygen. This is what Kevin Korhorn has said, and I absolutely love it. It's a little like oxygen. You need it to live, but it's not life. Right? And so yeah, I want you to do as much as you can. However, I want your financial life to be in balance. So I want you to know, how much should you be contributing? Should you be contributing more? Are you doing the exact right amount for retirement? Should you be maxing out your HSA? Should you be doing Roth conversions? Should you shoebox your HSA? That's what I want you to know. And if you don't know that answer, work with your certified financial planner, tune into them, and ensure that you've got clarity and confidence with your finances. If you don't have a CFP on your team, you can contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with K. WiseMoneyShow.com. You can find us there as well, or give us a call, 574-247-5898. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.